Okay.
Peace and blessings to the kings and queens. Peace and blessings. All right, what I was trying to say was how I I do my videos and I talk about my videos. When I talk about my videos, I'm talking about my experiences, my recollections, and what I've gone through and where I'm at, my surroundings, to where I was at. So I'm a first division baby spade. All right. Now my elders are who I not not take orders from, but they have a little bit of say of what I do as far as the spades are concerned. So I don't answer to any other division. I really don't. That's not how my elders taught us to be. You know, they taught us that those are my elders. Okay, so I don't have to answer to other divisions. I can listen to them. I can, that's not a problem. But as far as answer to, like if they give me something to whatever, that's my choice if I want to or not. But my first division elders are the ones who brought me in, and so they're the ones that created the spades. Okay, those are the creators of the spades. So that's one thing. Now, as far as other divisions business, I really can't tell you that. I really can't because
Right.
I wasn't there when they were started. I wasn't there I can't tell you their business, but I can tell you what I've seen in our division, which is the first division. Okay. So it came across to me, about letting business out, letting business out about the spades. My division, the first division, anything I say, my elders approve of it. They have never said, "Yo, don't say something," or say. They never have done that. And a lot of my elders are still here. Guru's still here. Khalif is still here. You see what I'm saying? And so I don't think Monk is still here. You know, David's still here. So I don't understand how somebody could say that I'm telling other people's business unless it was an incident that I won't even have to mention no names, that the person went to our opposition and spoke stuff. Wrong, right, indifferent. You don't do that against another spade. So, yes, if I see that there's something that is wrong, a remote sound or whatever, I'm going to address it. And that's what I did. And every time that I addressed it, my elders told me, Booby, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stand 10 toes down. And that's what I did. I stand 10 toes down. Because that's where I'm from. I'm from Bronxdale. That's what we do. So anybody that feels like I'm letting their business out has nothing to do with their business. Our business is the first division. Simple. Okay. Another thing that came to my attention is spade charging another spade. Okay. The reason why I say that, and I'm going to tell you why I address that. The reason why is, for number one, if we're telling a story about something that happened in the Spades, there should be no compensation because the story alone is the compensation for me. And that's just me. I don't know about anybody else, but it's me. So if I get a chance to share my experiences with a broader audience, then that's something relief off of me. That is something on me. And I would not charge for me to address that, to say that. And that's just me. Okay? The one thing that I know about the Spades is we're a giving community. We do things to help the community. That's what the Spades was built on, helping each other. So that's why I brought that up. Okay. Now, I know this is something that people are probably getting tired of, but I just got to address it. All right? When we, and I say we, Black Spades, First Division, Baby Spades, Little Rascals, Young Spades, Mario, when we created this, what is called hip hop now, the creation, there was different altercations between Puerto Ricans and us. So when I addressed the 50-50 being the creation of hip hop, I address it because I know that's not true. That's not true. And so because I tell the truth, people feel like, oh, people heard, and I said this before, people hear the lie so long that they don't even believe the truth because they hear the lie for so long. That's all they hear is the lie, the lie, the lie. So when the truth comes, then it's like, how can that be the truth if we believe in the lie? And that's what's happening. And so now, what? We're supposed to go along with the lie because that's what y'all believe? Ain't gonna happen. Simple. We was there. We were there. We was right there. We was in the creation. We were right there. So we see with our own eyes. We see this. There was something else I wanted to talk about.
Well, I want to talk about the DJ Phase story somewhat.
Okay. That's the reason why we left the project.
Right. What year did you leave the projects?
November the 23rd, 1977.
Now, your family moved out Bronxdale.
Right.
In like 1977?
Yes, correct.
Right. So 77, your family moved out of Bronxdale. And I want to say that like to people, we never portrayed DJ Phase as a super thug or super gangster or some stick-up kid or some kind of drug dealing, kingpin. We never said Phase was that. Phase experience is as a little child in the projects with Mario. Period. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? So as far as all the, anything else, we never said that DJ Phase was a super gangster or super whatever. But Phase is official though. So I just want the Phase haters to understand that. You know what I'm saying? As far as like they say Phase wasn't there or whatever. Like I say, the people you're asking wouldn't know one child from another child. He was a child. DJ Phase was a child in 75 and 74. He was a child. Okay, so I just want to say that for the haters. And
And another, I can also say something about that too, is that, you know, my experiences, you know, me and Black was just talking about this the other day. My experiences were something that happened. Like it happened. Like they put me on a crate to get on the Mario's turntables. That happened. I witnessed, you know, going and stealing PA speakers from the subway. I witnessed that. I grabbed those speakers. I know where the speakers were in the train and how to open up the thing. I did that. I witnessed packing bags and pathmark. I witnessed that. I had a gold medallion. I had that. I had British Walkers. I had that. So what people, the haters, want me to say is that, no, I didn't have that. No, I didn't have a mini bike.
He had a mini bike when he was 5.
No, I wasn't one of the first ones and the first kid, because I can actually say I was the first kid in my time to have a mini bike. In my time.
a mini bike would be 5.
Yeah, it's called a Kit Kat.
Okay? In my time. Okay? So I cannot say that that's not what happened, because that's what happened. A lot of the people can't say that they swam in Rosedale Pool.
Right.
I can say that because I swam in Rosedale Pool.
We should say that, right? All these houses behind
Right.
us in the backdrop, this was actually a pool.
It was a pool.
And by the time I was coming up, it was like an abandoned pool
Right.
and like a safari back there, believe
Exactly.
it or not. I remember going back there and getting almost like lost in the trees and
Right, 'cause
bushes. It was like a drop. It was like, I
Right.
remember a drop. It was like literally like a safari.
Right.
It was an
Exactly.
abandoned pool by the time I came
We
up.
called it the everything lot because it had everything in there. If you wanted a piece for your bike, you go in there and get it. You wanted a dog or a cat, you go in there and get it, okay? So it was the everything lot. But that was my experience to be in there.
Yeah.
It was my experience to go and at nighttime, cut the fence and sneak in the pool. That was our experience. That was our experience playing Ring Olivia and
Yeah.
Skelzy and stuff. That was my experience.
Now, see, look what you just said. I think people misunderstand, but especially since Young BlackJack came on. We're not saying that FaZe was a celebrity with Mario. We're saying that FaZe has experience as a child with Mario. So it's not surprising if Tex D said he don't remember DJ FaZe, because he wouldn't remember DJ FaZe, because there was no DJ FaZe back then. It was a child called Booby.
Right.
He wasn't a super gangster thug child or none of that. So I just think people misunderstand when you get on and you represent your history.
Right.
I think people misunderstand.
And it's not that they misunderstand. Those same haters have a way of trying to degrade or to bring someone down because they didn't do it. You see what I'm saying? They don't have that experience. They don't have a lot of them never saw Mario spin a record.
And this is before Mario got big.
Exactly.
DJ FaZe or Booby's experience with Mario was before Mario got big. Do you remember Mario at all?
Yeah.
You remember Mario? Did Mario used to come and try to get DJ FaZe to borrow his records or anything like that?
He used to come to the house, yeah.
He used to come to the house, Mario?
Yeah.
Do you remember for FaZe, for DJ FaZe? Yeah? He used to come like pick him up or shit. I mean, like, DJ FaZe, you left the projects pretty early. You left 77.
Right.
God bless you. Your family moved on to a better situation.
Right, to a private house.
Yeah, a private house. So, I mean...
Like I said,
Word.
there's a lot of them hate because I stand on the truth. You see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say, okay, this was going on or whatever, if that's not what I noticed and then that's not what I seen. So people want me, especially the Puerto Ricans, they want me to say, no, they was there when we did that. They want me to say, no, it was their music that was doing that. They want to bring up Tex all the time and say, but if they were there, they would have heard the music that Tex played. They would have known what the turntables were. They would have known what microphone was. They would have known these things, but they don't, because all they got is hearsay. And so because I can come with the knowledge of what I've experienced, that's where the hate comes in.
So let me ask you, so your family moved out early 1977, right? Where did y'all moved uptown?
Yeah.
Do you have any experiences, like maybe even notable people that you was around uptown?
Yeah, breakout. 'Cause that's why breakout. Theodore used to come up there and see me. Me and Gene used to come up there and see me. The Infinity Squad, DST. Bambada lived in Mark Terrace, right off of Baychester. A lot of people from there, and they know.
So you was in the Baychester area?
Yeah. That was Baychester area. You know what I mean?
Isn't that like the Valley somewhere up there?
The Valley's up there, the Eden Wall's up there, right. Gun Hill is up there, all of those places. And and that's what I'm saying. So what was the real thing though was when I got up there, and this is 100% fact. People that are from Bronx River, like Houston is from Bronx River, and he moved up there, and a couple of other people moved up there from down here. And when we got up there, we felt like that was the country. Like they didn't know what we did and how we played and playing in the staircase and snapping and all that. When I got up there and I was snapping on them, they were getting offended. I'm talking about them and they, be crying and everything. When I'm like waiting for them to snap back on me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. But they got offended. I'll never forget this one guy. When I went up there, I was like, yo, we passed this thing and it smells stink, right? And I was like, damn, yo, why you be farting like that?
Sure.
And he was like, what? I didn't fart. Like, why are you saying that I farted or whatever? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because that's our snap. You see what I'm saying? And that's just like with the Puerto Ricans. We used to snap on Puerto Ricans because of how they dress. I'm supposed to say, no, that didn't happen. I'm supposed to say I didn't witness a Puerto Rican with high waters and patent leathers, white church shoes on. I'm supposed to say that? A whole bunch of different colors? I'm supposed to say, no, that didn't happen? That happened. And because I said it, that's where the hate comes in.
So what about the gangsters up there? Was there any gangsters up there when you moved?
There was a few, but the gangsters that were up there from down here and downtown.
And moved up there, you said?
And moved up there, just like we moved up there. You see what I'm saying? Willie's family moved on Baychester. Willie's family moved on Baychester. Okay? And so that's what I'm saying. It's like, I
always heard about Wolf. You ever?
That was my boy.
That was Wolf.
Wolf was my man, yo. Wolf was my man.
Yeah.
Him and Troy and Gert and Nerney and all those are my boys.
Like what year you talking about?
77, from 77 on.
Yeah?
Yeah. Me and Wolf was, yo.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, yo. Me and Wolf was mad. And ask anybody up there. Ask anybody up there. All right? They'll tell you, yeah, that's their little crew.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he was your crew. He was part of your crew? Yeah.
Of course.
Wolf,
Yo, see, there was a thing, and everybody know, uptown, no. There was a place in Truman High School where I used to have the back near the auto room. They had an auto mechanics room there.
Okay.
And I had a place there that it was the guards and the police or whatever let me have that. Because I used to do what I do, boom, 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 and everybody used to shoot dice, everybody used to come to that room. You ask any of the gangsters about that, and they'll tell you, yeah.
That you had a bat. What do you mean you had a what?
I had within near the staircase, right? There was like a little, like a room almost, you want to say, between the staircase and the auto mechanic room, right? The place. So that was my little spot where we used to do things. You know, we was selling things and having things and playing dice and all that in that room. I think Trey Bag. I think about Trey Bag all the time. Used to playing the dice. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, that was a part of the downtown crew, because that's uptown. Right. So the downtown crew used to go there. And that's the first time I drunk old English, the whole quarter old English, you know, and stuff like that. All right, but that's about it. I got an appointment at 1:30. All right. Yo, but this one I can't wait.